just yet. And for BLG, I mean, typically here's where we would just see the stock and standard Corki lock-in, but no, wanting to go straight towards that Thresh for Crisp. Could be a takeaway from Yanja, because when I think of Yanja last year, his two real go-to picks in my mind are like, okay, Thresh was number one, and in 2020, I think of Yuumi.
But you know, Lyric, I think of Yuumi because of who he's paired with. I think about Jaculov's Ezreal getting spammed at that point, and I would love to see if it comes out again. Remember, Yanja, this is his debut game here on Rare Adam, guys. We've been seeing Zorah for 2 weeks straight, and for RAs, they stand 1 and 2. This draft looking pretty OP. Lyric, these are two of the 3 pieces that come with Exodia's composition. We don't have the Xinzao available, but there are quite a bit of junglers, or even that support, that they're going to say, hey, Yanja, pick up for your first game.
Yeah, so they got the dynamic duo of Corki Jinx, who we've hit on so many times. And on the opposite side, though, looks like BLG had a very clear idea of, okay, first pick Thresh, I assume take that away from you, Yanja. We're instantly going to go with the Jarvan, because they're probably going to end up with, you know, in a mobile carry themselves. They obviously see the Jinx, and then pair the Aphelios alongside it. So, are seeing the thought process behind what BLG are looking to do. RA later on will have range to play with, but still, now a lot of engage and gap closers coming in on the side of BLG to enable someone like Doggo on the Aphelios. And hopefully, you know, if he is flashing forward or gale forcing forward like we saw last game, it's not in the same manner where you're just throwing away the game.
Oh, Lyric, I love the Z-Band, though, coming into the second phase. I mean, we're getting standards like Victor going through with Corki already picked up, which means that FoFo's not going to be in a boring matchup. The Vex you mentioned before we got into draft that, you know, FoFo's been flexing around with too. So we do get a couple of targeted bans towards mid, towards jungle this game. And in this final one from BLG, I'm curious, Lyric, you know, safe mid side already picked up. We need a jungler for Leyan. And his pool's been pinched apart from the...
still open?
The basic junglers like the Lee Sin, you said.
Yeah, Lee Sin still being available. I guess both Lee Sin and Viego are locked and loaded. I think Dragon's Rage could give you some options to play around in terms of, right, trying to set up onto Doggo on this Aphelios or keeping the enemy at bay.
Oh, you said it.
But we hit on this. This is tied for Leyan's most played with the Rek'Sai. Has not pulled out the Talon just yet, but I like that they're hovering this. Like I said, I feel like Lee Sin would be pretty solid here. Ooh.
Poppy.
Ooh.
Against the
I
job.
like this. Yeah, gonna come in, gonna make it hard for these champions to be able to close range, especially when we hit on, like, again, when you have Corki Jinx, you're always gonna outrange unless the Xeraths or the Vel'Kozes or anything obscure comes out along those lines. So when you know BLG are already kind of opting into having to close the gap, having Poppy and her ability to stop gap closers to be able to hit you away with her ultimate as well, I think is going to be able to do so much. So BLG now trying to pivot their comp slightly by bringing out the Jyce in the top side for Breathe, and it looks like they might just go with an Orianna pick for FoFo.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you about this in a second. Remember that To the Skies gets blocked by Poppy too, so still get a huge value, as this is going to be the 7th unique jungler picked up by Leyan this split. Also note that he has the most uniques on the team of this new Rare Adam lineup. So for Leyan, flexing his stuff again as we get a Graves. Lyric, I see some OP picks on the side of Rare Adam, 2 picks that in the Jinx and the Corki that we've already talked, poke the hell out of these teams.
Yeah, I really like Rare Adam's composition, right? Again, we see the disengage coming in and the zone control from the Poppy. We already have the DPS and damage coming out from both Strive and iBoy. Cube going to be up there in a safe laner up in top side who will just be able to contest waves with Breathe. And then you have a bit of engage to try to find fights if you are able to whittle health bars decently low. For BLG, I think will be the more interesting one, because you do have things like the Thresh Jarvan combo, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them trying to roam around the map early on, find impact, look for picks maybe in the enemy jungle or around mid against some of these more immobile laners, and really enable FoFo on this Orianna. And yeah, then we're going to kind of see how it plays out with the Jyce dynamic, where you have things like the accelerated shot class to try and contend with the Jinx and Corki, but also having a lot more single target CC and single target damage, where it does feel like it is going to be a little bit more intricate in how to play it.
Well, for BLG, I mean, they're going to show that they are one of these super teams that we keep talking about. Bilibili Gaming on the blue side, bit confused there. Red's on left, blue's on right, but blue's on left up top, Lyric, and red's on right. So, I guess, never mind. Don't listen to my brain. I'm just confused out of my hell space.
Maybe what they're doing is because RA's logo is pink and BLG's is blue. They're doing those colors because they don't actually have pink.
Oh, but then who's actually on the blue side? We know it's BLG, so it's still confusing me. Welcome back, folks. As we started off today, there was something in the sky before Teemo opened the lid. I'm not sure if that's coming to Summoner's Rift or coming to our broadcast, but scared me. That Yordle is creepy, and you guys are in for a treat when you finally see it in the skies of Summoner's Rift. But welcome all the same. BLG on blue and RA on red. I hope I didn't confuse you. We have a Poppy here in this game. Starting to see it more and more. Leyan running the Predator on it as well, so I'm expecting some early action. A very fast little Yordle running into these lanes early on.
And we've already had one game of the Poppy here in the LPL. Oh, you're right. Real quick on the Poppy point, though, was played by Karsa. We have seen things like the Turbo Chem Tank kind of be standard, just being able to run at the opponent quite quickly and seeing what you are able to dish out. So I really want to keep track of Leyan on this Poppy and see what he is able to get done, especially because it just keeps the story of Leyan true, of just like, hey, he is going to continuously picking these quirky picks that no one else is really taking advantage of.
It feels like, you know, for Leyan, that's his dynamic at the moment. He plays around the fact that you can't really ban him out. So much to go through. And Lyric, I did want to come back to, as Yuyanjak goes for a dredge line, that's not a great way to start the split. As he gets bashed out a little bit, but should be fine. Let's come back quickly. Am I just out of the meta, or is Lethal Tempo Jarvan more normal than I lead on?
No, it's not something that I've particularly seen at all recently, kind of looking through match history. Heck, even pulling it up now, it's not something you really see pro players taking advantage of. I guess it would theoretically give you a bit more power in terms of like really skirmishing, getting some of that attack speed off and getting some autos in, but I'm kind of curious to see what WeiWei does go in terms of build, because again, not something I've seen anyone going.
Yeah, so it's something that, again, you know, let's call it innovation here from WeiWei, as both junglers on the opposite sides of the map. We'll keep track of them as they path across. Note that Doggo and Crisp, even though they got that good trade, it was RA and iBoy. I'm not sure what happened here. Something broke. I apologize. My computer has actually just fucked up, but it still feels like I'm here. It's okay. I'm all right. Let's look at the top lane. Cube getting bullied out, and apologies, ladies and gentlemen. The program decided to tell me that we were using a different speaker.
Well, now I'll be your speaker, and I'll tell you what's happening. We have a ward. We have a ward from Cube down in top side, so if WeiWei looks for anything cheeky, he will be spotted out. And okay, Leyan looking for a gank is stepping on a ward though, so BLG shouldn't fall for this.
I can hear again, Lyric. Or a K. It turns out the B thing was a bit sensitive. Back. Apologies for that. What did I miss? What
are we gone?
I was gone. I couldn't hear anything. Couldn't hear absolutely anything.
Well, we saw Leyan try to look for a gank bot, but he couldn't because BLG actually used wards.
Oh.
Pretty cool.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty cool. Of course, a pretty stable early game. And am I going to ask you the same question this time around as WeiWei's up towards the top side? Is it going to be, you know, based around ultis again, especially for mid lane and around packages too?
I mean, you know, anytime you see Corki on the Rift, right, it's always going to be on package timing, especially for the side of RA where it is more about just playing for neutrals. For BLG, though, you can start the aggression very early on. We've already seen WeiWei hovering up towards the top side, which is where I think it would be nice to have some, you know, early pressure come from. The other place would be bot. I don't expect to see too much mid, considering you are playing against a Corki, so he is one of the people who does have some mobility in this kit and can be able to get away from the ganks that Jarvan puts out, but maybe WeiWei putting some attention towards the bottom lane, blowing some early summoners from iBoy, keeping up their pressure in the bot lane can lead to things like their bot lane being able to rotate first for Rift Herald or being able to pick up the dragon.
But speaking of ganks, I just love that Leyan comes in with Predator early because he picked up the boots, and then Yuyanja's like, I'll have a try, guys. I'll have a try. See what I can get through the mid lane, and nothing comes of it. FoFo still plays it safe, doesn't walk near that brush again. Yuyanjak crosses back towards mid. Only level 3, Crisp and Doggo 4. They've made their back timings there as well, and a double longsword and a dagger. In the highlighted matchup we talked about, Lyric, it feels fitting when you've got an Aphelios versus a Jinx. It's like, okay, we're going to get to 30 minutes and then be talking a lot about these players, most likely as game 1 draws to a close.
Ooh, WeiWei though, looking for this gank, but Yuyanja just smacks him with the anchor. He is able to get away. I love that WeiWei's still waiting around though, seeing if they'll be able to catch him out, making his way back to bot lane.
Guess not. But hey, Dragon's up, so both junglers down here. I want to see if this develops.
Hysterics, it's an early dragon. Neither team cares. They're going to keep posturing on this bottom side, though. RA, looks like Yuyanja might go for an aggressive play on Doggo. If Doggo had stayed up, Yuyanja technically could have looked for some kind of flash play onto him.
Needs the dredge line out of there, especially if Chris gets his setup here. No boots available, so currently slower than Yuyanja, who continues to make moves through the river. And for RA, feeling pretty active here. There's a lot of attention towards mid. You did talk about how we could see that onto FoFo as WeiWei actually jumps on in. Dark Passage taken. There's a death sentence, but it might be for WeiWei, who flashes away. Leyan over the wall and right on the blast cone. The ignite down. He survives, but the shockwave brings only one back in. Level 6 already for FoFo. Teaches iBoy a bit of a lesson. The focus of RA now in a bit of trouble, but FoFo flashing forward. Does he have enough damage with the command attack? A couple of auto wind-ups. iBoy survives, heals up, and that was the full commit, so the BLG could have a dragon in the near future.
This is personal for FoFo going up against his ex-AD carry. Yeah. Maybe a bit of passion behind that flash, looking for that kill. Not have enough damage, but BLG, nice job on the rotation, playing decently aggressive. The rotation did lead to FoFo falling one wave behind Strive in terms of farm. So sure. Strive, nice 350 gold lead right now. Going to be able to pick up a solid control ward on his side. And with the fact that it is 7 minutes in the game, we're going to be looking towards that top side. Getting some of that crucial vision down for the side of BLG can go a long way for their team. And looking to, you know, find the fights around these neutral objectives. Especially when champions like Orianna still are at a point where they're not able to do too much.
Yeah, no damage coming through from just a tier. Sapphire Crystal, Amplifying Tome now picked up 2. FoFo had a good try of it, and I was going to say, well, felt like it might have been worth if Doggo got a bit more, but CS still even in that bottom lane. They reset, they come back, and Dragon wasn't taken either, so I'm going to be keeping track of both the flashes and the ultis that have been burned in the exchange, especially with 15 seconds until the Herald lyric. Package you already talked about as a big setup. Herald has been such a big priority in the LPL. And RA's bottom lane moving first, but take a dragon on the way. iBoy wants to troll Yuyanja and maybe himself, but it eventually will be started.
Yeah, RA just saying, hey, we're going to go towards the bottom half of the map and play for this objective, especially with the fact that Cube going for that reset timing in top side. So RA going to be playing on the strength of their bot lane and go for this dragon stacking game. Next, we will get to Hextech Drake. So sadly, no new souls coming out on the Rift. Kind of taking stock of items for a second, right? Plated steel caps coming out for Cube, so can be able to survive those trades a little bit better. We already see Breathe making his way towards the components of an Eclipse on the opposite side. And I'd say everyone else on the map, right, still decently far away from any completed items.
Yeah, I mean, I see, you know, there's top lane items you mentioned as well. The Serrated Dirk and Vampire Acceptor for Breathe means he's probably one of the closest. Noob Quiver in the bottom lane too. Pickaxe is what he's going up against. And talking about Doggo versus iBoy. When we have a highlighted matchup of 80 carries, you know, we're going to be looking out for them in team fights. We're going to be looking out for them towards this Herald. But I think one thing important to notice, in front of this Herald fight lyric, Strive won't have package. It was used to pick up right after the Dragon, excuse me. But Dragon was taken absolutely free. And now the package is going to be down in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, so at least no Herald setup going to be coming up from RA, but heck, BLG haven't wanted to bring their bot lane topside and look for that with themselves either. Instead, opting in to double down on this advantage that Doggo and Chris have already found. WeiWei.
Cataclysm hits 2 people. Yuyanja doesn't have the ulti, and iBoy up the creek without a paddle. First blood over to the Aphelios, and Doggo gets another. We howled for him when we talked about him. Over Uzi. Who's Uzi?
Yeah, WeiWei already preparing to set up for playing around bot lane all split long. Doesn't matter if it's Uzi, doesn't matter if it's Doggo. You have such commanding laners. I mean, heck, we're already almost at 4 plates down for this turret in the bottom lane. I mean, we're at a 1,200 gold lead of Doggo over iBoy just straight up. So pretty much all of BLG's gold is on Doggo right now coming out with the Gale Force, so a lot more kill pressure in that one. We're just here how it starts off. WeiWei going into straight Cataclysm. Even nice that it takes effect after the Dredge line brings Yuyantra into where the Cataclysm would hit 2 people.
Oh!
On the other side though, Breathe.
Beautiful hook
Chris?
to come back to. Crispy. WeiWei with a flash, a flag, and drag seals the deal here with a lethal tempo Jarvan, but WeiWei can't catch the space. Cube lucky to get out, but Chris showcases a bit of class coming back from that replay, Lyric.
I even like that WeiWei doesn't commit the flash there, right? Because you're committing a flash for potentially a kill on the enemy top laner, but it doesn't translate into any objective. It doesn't really turn into any tangible map pressure either. Cube will have to back regardless, so his presence won't be on the map. So keeping that flash up for something more high impact, like a team fight later on, being able to secure some kind of E2 knockup with that flash onto iBoy or Strive, feels like it could be way more critical than fighting that pick on the Cube.
I'd like to, track again those summoners coming through, the flash down for Cube, the next fight that we're going to see, because note that the Herald was picked up. Also picked up by Rare Adam here in the early game. It's on Leyan. What do you see, Lyric?
We have Chem Tank Jarvan coming out. Lethal Tempo Chem Tank Jarvan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going to clear very fast.
Have not seen, again, we haven't seen this pulled out just yet in the LPL. Has just been the typical Gore Drinker setup coming out so far in every game.
I feel like, coming into this game, WeiWei's already given us a spicy one in game number 1, even being on the Jarvan. You speak of spice, Leyan on the way. That's Predator procced, and for Breathe with the Herald down, he has to back away. Leyan zoning him out, a heroic charge. Good piece of damage. Holds on to the Keeper's Verdict for now as WeiWei does the same in the bottom side, and we're about to rinse and repeat this one. Where's the dog? He's behind enemy lines, or at least behind the turret for now. WeiWei's just soloing this out. Lethal Tempo Jarvan burning down iBoy, the dunk! Not enough iBoy flashes, but WeiWei gets it in the end with the flag. FoFo came through. He flashed for that WeiWei, you monster.
WeiWei was saving it for an opportune time. It actually wasn't useful, but it could have been had FoFo not showed up, secured the kill, and I mean, heck, for the side of RA, right? You're trading turrets on opposite sides, but you pick up a kill on top of it. You're setting iBoy even further behind to where Breathe, showing respect, backing off that top side turret. Sure, RA are still going to be able to get something, but you're minimizing the casualties that you would have otherwise.
Dude, I just love that the Jarvan, WeiWei came in for that. The hook goes through, a close call from Chris, who has been hitting the majority of his hooks this game. We've got to give him props. Feels like he is a very big part of BLG in this game 1. And Lyric, it's replay time because the bottom lane wasn't even involved. This is just all WeiWei.
No, so it seems like the wave was still being cleared out on top of iBoy dropping the chompers to make sure that the others couldn't easily follow through. Really nice flash from iBoy, honestly. Like that was clean. FoFo though shows up, presses Q, he is instantly on.
Okay, there's a ward there, guys. I'm sorry to get so excited. But hey, Dragon's now live, second Dragon and Lyric. This series already feels a lot more tempo-based, right? We're 3 kills in at 13 minutes. It might not be a lot to some people, but we're seeing some really good plays around the map, really good setup. And speaking of good setup, Strive has his package again. This would be the second Dragon for RA if they can manage to start it off.
We're also just seeing like new items, new champions, right? Again, seeing the setup from Jarvan coming out, seeing Leyan bringing out the Poppy like Karsa did the other day. Like you said, package up for Strive. All members of BLG making their way down. I think Breathe gonna be,
Okay, well,
okay.
Must have been running out. And Strive just backed away, and unfortunate timing here. Dom, we know you're out there. I don't know how tilted you are out of a 10. That's probably a 6. But BLG will take Dragon because of it, so 1 apiece.
Now, RA just going to be going for the reset right now and, turning back to the side of BLG and not focusing. Okay, Rocket comes out. BLG's game's kind of looking solid so far, right? Sure, gold is even, but it definitely feels to me like BLG are the ones in control of the game. Their presence much more threatening to RAs, especially with Doggo. The 1,600 gold lead. On the opposite side, though, Cube is sitting about 1,000 gold over his counterpart. Leyan a little bit over WeiWei, which is why gold is pretty close on both sides. But if Doggo can stay massive right, you do have this win condition to play through for the side of BLG. And heck, even Breathe still sitting on his item spikes, right? Finishing up the Eclipse, not really too far behind Cube.
I feel like as well, you know, those first items getting completed, FoFo might have a bit of trouble here. Leyan on the way. Predator's already been used, and that's a Turbo Chem Tank on top of the Poppy now as well. Shockwave brings it back in. WeiWei goes for the dunk down. It's a smite battle now for Chris. Thinking he was going to get Strive there on the return. The flag and drag back in. WeiWei's not done. And he's not really dying either at half HP with Ignite. I might be wrong, but the flash play from Chris. Gorgeous. Over the wall, Leyan joins the fight once again, but Doggo's here to bark at him. And for BLG, it's as easy as that. Yu welcome back to the Rift. That's a 3-kill Aphelios. He runs for his life. And with no Gale Force necessary, or maybe managed, Doggo goes to the sniper, blocked by a minion. Lyric, another kill, and BLG right now seem to be trading.
I mean, that was just super weird, in my opinion, like everything we just saw. I'm curious if we're going to get a replay, though. Got to be honest with you, Hysterics. I'm about at 144 frames per second right now, but...
Do you mean P instead of frames? Because you're at 104, 144 frames. Man, that's a lot better than what I'm getting.
You know, I did see what happened in that fight, though, of them committing everything to the Poppy as FoFo is kind of trying to circle around. Oh, cool, we are going to get a replay of it. So, we see RA trying to position for a pick themselves. Leyan does come in. Shockwave goes off and comes into the Cataclysm. Everything going straight onto the Poppy, though. And now FoFo having the background because he doesn't want to just walk straight through the Corki. And I think lucky for them, Doggo is making his way around. Lucky for them that the other members of RA aren't here, because maybe this could have actually been a winnable fight for RA with how many resources they did end up putting into that Poppy. But in the end, you just get another kill onto your Fed 80 carry.
I mean, dude, gold is actually in favor of RA. Because Cube got that bottom lane turret on the Graves. So while all this is going on, Cube's staying in the side lane, picking up resources. He's level 12, and he might be matching Breathe, but he's 10 CS in the lead. He's almost 2 items strong. I feel like for RA, you know, we're getting some of those elements again as iBoy, not the target. Chris jukes us all. Get charged into the back line. Strive has now joined the fray with a full load of ammo, but the dunk down again. iBoy the target. The 0-2 Jinx can't get enough of WeiWei this game. And with Herald getting dropped down as well, RA on the defensive through this mid lane.
And this is why you pick the Jarvan, right? WeiWei utilizing the pick to a T, forcing out these summoners on key members. They are going to be able to take this turret for sure, and even forcing iBoy off on the base. RA's only saving grace is what you highlighted before. Look at Cube, up in top lane, pushing side lanes once again. BLG being slow to react, having to send Breathe to catch those out, is they're actually trying to catch out Cube himself.
But Cube is pretty strong. TP's going to come through here, matching out the TP. Cube wants to get out of there just in time. There's no flag and drag for WeiWei. And you'll take that little Chad moment if you're Cube.
RA, though, still going to try and answer in mid lane. This is what we talked about with RA, why they have impressed us a bit more than their scoreline would otherwise suggest, right? Is they're in position to try to answer, in position to try to force in waves elsewhere on the map and make life hard for BLG.
All right, Lyric, you enjoying the game? You're feeling it a lot more this time because with 1 dragon apiece, even with 4 kills, I feel like this just has a better feel, you know?
Can you see the game?
I can see, can't you see the game again? Sorry, guys, I don't know how it is in the States, but, you know, well, look, to be fair, your internet's better than mine. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm constantly at 144p. You kind of just got to guess. And when you see the shape of items, like, that's when you know you play too much League of Legends, when you get the shape of the items at less than 144p.
I think the best part is the stuttering, and you're like, oh, hey, look, they're clearing out waves. Then, like, suddenly everything on your screen's a fight as Chris lands a death sentence.
Okay, well, I can see this one. The flash in from Leyan. Great response. Cube gets out. The flag and drag from WeiWei to bring it back to Super Mega Death Rock in the back line. Cataclysm buys time, but WeiWei's out of there immediately. Doggo gets the trade, but Strive with the package on the back line. Lines down FoFo, who dodges away. His counterpart is going to get through it as well. Doggo with a double kill. I'm ready to howl again.
2 for 2 across the board for both sides. We do see dragging up, and BLG still trying to find it. Breathe. That was extremely close to being able to take down iBoy.
But Gromp is
I think
huge.
he's going to be able to get away, though.
Breathe going to look for another blast, but iBoy's already away. Dude, Gromp gives back so much health, so much mana. iBoy still would have gotten out, but I tell you what, Lyric, BLG 6 for 2 kills. RA is still in the gold lead. RA still literally have the gold lead.
I mean, Cube has just been, you know, off getting free gold while Breathe has not been picking up anything. We're going to see here the Death Sentence does connect. Leyan and Cube, though, able to turn on. Cube just has so much damage right now. They do keep going, though. WeiWei zoning off members one side. Does allow them to pick up Yuyanja. And then Strive, getting a little bit ahead of yourself, buddy. Flag and Drag comes out. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but at the end of the day, 5-0 Doggo.
Starting to really ramp up the fighting. Chris is setting the dark passage for Doggo to get away from Yuyanja. RA on the right wing. Cube now isolated here with 3 members. Doggo only goes forward. What a good boy. Lyric, BLG have 5 people versus 3. Look, the Jinx is mid. iBoy not joining, but Chris dies. Didn't make a death rocket. Hits a full health member, so Breathe doesn't care. Onto Yuyanja right in front of the Baron. BLG are using poke, but still losing. Strive is abusing the Corki here, Lyric. And a 2-item mid laner doing a lot of work with RA trading up with numbers down.
And RA, I think, are you know, with where Jinx and Corki are at, the fact that gold's even, the fact that you do have more of a front line coming out for you, I think this is a bit reminiscent of last game in terms of how we can expect to see this go the later it goes, favoring RA, especially with Q being such a strong force comparatively to the Jyce on the opposite side, to where he's also been able to maintain pressure in side lanes for Rare Adam. And so we're going to get a replay of what happens here. WeiWei going in for it. Heck, all members of BLG closing in, Yuyanja and Cube being by their lonesome. Cube doing a nice job of fighting it out, but Doggo able to utilize that Gale Force and get another one.
So Lyric, it continues on, and I think Strive a big part of the reason why BLG got shredded down, and with iBoy getting the trade, they still remain ahead. It's about a 1k gold lead, even less, as BLG trying to get this top lane tier 1. And finally, all the tier 1s in the game. Folks, I just need that Poppy to move. Yeah, all the tier 1s are going to be down, so the map opens up quite a lot at the 22-minute mark. Lyric, come back to comps again because I see a very big Doggo, 6-0. I also see iBoy, who might be 0-2, but is at 2 items himself on the Jinx. More importantly, Strive is 2-1 in this mid lane. So I feel like we are getting into a very strong mid-game Strive, where Strive's not the right word. I just have Strive on my screen. A strong mid-game where team fighting now is going to be very enhanced.
Yes, and I still favor RA if things go about it in, you know, if both teams back, they end up A-ramming it and walking into each other, right? I think that those are the fights that RA would prefer. You can see, though, BLG haven't really let that happen. They've continuously been pulling the trigger quite fast. There's numerous times where they've had Breathe just completely abdicate and give up side lanes, make his way towards mid first, and try to find those fights with numbers advantage and fights with pickoffs coming out from Chris. That's that thing. So you can see BLG knows that they don't want to just run into RA's comp head first, get pummeled by those rockets. They are trying to find different means to fight, but with how accelerated Doggo is, even if they do just try and slam their hands on their keyboard and try and win a fight, it is possible. I mean, heck, IE now done for the Aphelios.
Especially if they can set up the picks here. Forget the fight onto Leyan, the flag and drag, the hook connects. That ward behind the rocky face was clutch. Now no jungler for RA. Gold lead or not, it's a 5 versus 4 without smite.
And BLG just going to look for it. They have the gun combination to go for it. Crisp on the opposite side.
Oh my god.
Fishing.
Strive's poke damage huge onto WeiWei. He's gonna dodge, smites down. BLG survived now, and Yuyanja interrupted. Death sentence, no connecting. But onto iBoy again. WeiWei's gonna be the target. You can see that RA are low, poking back. They've lost the Baron. They almost secure yet another kill, and Cube doesn't commit. Lyric, RA this time are gonna be down in gold as Cube TP's back just in case.
RA just committed Cube to the side lanes the whole time. I mean, to be fair, right, BLG were the ones who found a pick off that one. Like we said, it's been about them finding these creative ways to find picks rather than just brute forcing into Rare Adam's composition. Doggo picking up another one as well. And this is where BLG's comp can try to start to thrive with the siege that they are able to put down with Jyce and Aphelios. RA, though, do have a decent amount of wave clear on the opposite side. Dragon coming up in 30 seconds, so it looks like RA want to try and take their advantage back.
A Mountain Soul for Poppy 2 and the Nautilus. A value added here if RA can take it away. And Strive has package Lyric. They're already in River. BLG moving in themselves with FoFo right now behind the pit.
Makes me wonder if BLG do just opt into running mid. They will. They're going to go there right now. You have Baron. You are strongest in lane when you have minions to buff up. That's the advantage Baron gives you. Does nothing for you in those river skirmishes. So RA are going to be able to get Dragon. BLG, just try and cement your gold lead even further. It's only going to be 2 dragons to 2. You're going to have time to fight for more. And if you can start getting item advantages over the side of RA, that will go your way. They're going to play out their 2 lanes with Breathe pushing up in that top side. But Breathe might need to go answer Cube in the opposite side. Cube is getting so much work done.
Need to, I think as well, even in the mid lane Lyric, RA have themselves a Corki package, which has unfortunately expired once again. I've seen it a couple of times in this game not have much value, but it's all about timing here, guys. Expires, this time not used again. Breathe is doing his own lane management though, with FoFo now looking at Cube, who backs away just in the nick of time. So with this Baron play, we've got about 2,500 gold that's been achieved. 2,000 gold is what BLG's leading. We don't really have a definitive movement in this game yet. So I feel like we're going to be waiting for next Baron, next Dragon that will lead to Soul Point Lyric. We've already talked about key elements that decide this game, but the fact in game 1 that we don't have a stomp, we don't have a one-sided affair, that both AD carries will still have value, especially one over the other, is exciting when we are moving into the late game stage.
And especially with the fact that we have seen these teams both be willing to be a bit more proactive. RA are definitely playing on the back foot, but they've cross-mapped quite well. Like we're seeing now, WeiWei is continuously looking for these opportunities to get kills and get picks for the side of BLG. And heck, look at iBoy right now. iBoy's on the opposite side of the map, so BLG should feel comfortable at least taking this turret. They are going to send FoFo, it looks like, to go answer, who does have TP. So he will be just fine. Actually would be able to get to a fight even faster than iBoy would if Bilibili want to keep the siege up.
But for BLG, Baron has expired, so will they is the biggest question. Infernum for quick wave clear. Doggo going to take that and Dark Passage alongside with it. We now start counting down towards the Baron, towards the Dragon. Similar timers to be noted if we want to flip one side for the other. As Chris with the hook on the Strive. That was a tippy toe too short. As Strive does get hit with the Shock Blast. Looks like BLG have some poke of their own. So Lyric, I guess we're going to wait for those timers, and I'm probably going to have some cheese.
I just want to see how much damage Cube does right now if he gets his full combo off on FoFo. Actually, anyone. Gets his full combo off on anyone, right? Sitting on 3 items, having that ton of life steal coming from the Bloodthirster, also being on the Infinity Edge. Heck, we saw what happened the last time Cube was the one who got caught out. He just turned it around, threw out the Q, threw out the ultimate, instantly was able to find a kill on return. So we've seen the 2 members to keep an eye out on the side of Orianna are definitely Cube and Strive, in my opinion. Strive definitely has been strong as well with the AP Corki build that has stayed in fruition in this meta. On the opposite side, though, WeiWei doesn't stop being an aggressor.
It's a flash Cataclysm, but iBoy once again with a good response. Not too sure what happened there. I believe, it was Gale Force. Gale Force in the nick of time, and iBoy gets out.
iBoy has been on point with his mechanics in terms of timing this game. The flash earlier, even if he did still die, and this time around the Gale Force. BLG, though, keeping up the aggression, completely choking out RA from their topside jungle.
Leyan.
Not going to let them get...
Okay, but he's actually going to be the one who's caught out in the end. That was Predator used. Trying to find a creative angle. Doggo with the white flag. There's very cheeky Doggo. Really sitting into the role of BLG well, now that we're at the start of week number 3. He's going to get the red buff too, but collateral damage takes it. Wasn't worth it because Chris gets the hook, flushes out with the box. Leyan now no longer has those chasing tools. As Cube gets out for the flash. Chat, you can tell me if it's worth it or not, because honestly, a red buff for your flash and the ulti with a minute to go before these objectives come up.
I like how BLG is approached, trying to find these fights, getting this push down first. I feel like this is such a stark disparity from the first series we saw today. From what we were looking for, but RA still holding strong. We did also get a taste of Cube's damage, like we were talking about earlier. Was just outright chunking WeiWei for like 20% of his HP, just throwing out a Q and an auto. So you're gonna have to be careful. Baron still not up, but looks like it will come back soon.
What do you go
BLG
for?
makes you wonder. They have control top side, so I don't expect BLG just to outright pivot. Looks like they're gonna go for resets first, get some vision down, probably push out mid wave, and then maybe make your way down into Dragon. If RA keep control of that, that's when you could threaten a pivot because you do have the Aphelios.
Especially with Cube in the bottom side. I just like that for RA, well, they're not changing the pace of this game. Leaving Cube in the side lane. For BLG, they're very retracted in the mid lane right now. FoFo attracts himself to top side. And already for Cube, the level 17 Graves with 330 CS. Not a 2-1B Rise hack, but definitely close. The Strive moves to this objective. It's going to be on a ward that BLG have placed. They move in River Lyric. And WeiWei the first there, so RA back away while Cube is done with his wave.
I want to highlight the fact that iBoy does have flash up this time around. So if WeiWei finds the play, iBoy will be fine. His TPs are coming out. Cube just walking and making his way up, though.
Strive used his hackage over at the Dragon. So that's not available. He's at half HP as he joins in. Perfect guns for Doggo, but he's about to run out of crescendo. Baron's starting to go down. The fight begins. Into the back line. It's WeiWei with the jump in onto Leyan. He takes a bit of damage. He smites down early. In fact, that was Leyan who looked like he healed up. Or maybe both. Doggo forward, though. Doggo's ulti forward. Oh, my God, Doggo! Oh, RA are gone. And BLG, that's a spicy way to start or end off game one.
We were joking about if Doggo would make the same play we saw in the last series and make it work, and he does. He gale forces forward, finds the Moonlight Vigil, takes a bunch of members of RA down. That turns into the Baron for the side of BLG. And man, BLG have continuously found ways to find kills, to find picks, to move this gold lead forward. We're gonna go straight into the replay. Crisp hook goes wide, Yuyan just does hit. But we're just going to keep following Doggo here. We see them pushing out the enemy, right instantly gale forcing and hits Moonlight Vigil onto 3 members and instantly blowing up 2.
Oh my God, Lyric. He's full build. And this is the confidence you want to see, guys. We talked about it in the opening segment. You know, there's all these questions about how's Uzi going? When is he joining the team? No one really considers how's Doggo doing and how is he integrating here as the poke comes through. BLG's AD carry set in prime position here in this game, and RA now threatened by this full build Aphelios with 320 CS, 9 kills, a massive bounty, and an inhibitor now breaking down. BLG with the first big gold lead in this game, number 1, and control given over. BLG's AD carry took it by force.
Now they have an easy turn up towards the top half of the map. Doggo gonna go start hitting that wave, pushing into the base of BLG. Other members just hovering around, potentially looking for picks if members of RA step too far forward, put a bit of damage down. But it's gonna be about escorting this wave into the turret and continuing to lay siege to the base where Adam do have a minute, 18 seconds left on this Baron.
Lyric. Big Baron, it feels like. It's Strive, Leyan's ulti comes through. Cannon minion sitting there. The minions come back after getting pretty annoyed. The wave clear from iBoy doing quite a lot. BLG anxious to go on his Yuyan just hook is a tad short. The Baron has a minute left on it. A 2K play that has really cemented BLG here in this game. Lyric, TP's going to come through. I think we're going to do this again. Try and get the most out of the Baron for BLG.
We're going to see Strive is able to put out a massive amount of damage with those rockets. Luckily, everyone on BLG sidestepping the big one. Now I need to be careful. If Crisp can find a hook, this could lead to an end.
Cataclysm comes through as well. The shockwave brings Yuyan back in, deleted by the top laner in a matter of moments. It's breathed in, and Doggo once again. Look at this. The range comes through. He may die in the end, but it is only 1 member left standing, and Cube on this Graves matters not. BLG bring their AD carry out of GA. He's 11-0-3, and they find the dog bear we're looking for.
BLG, I think, were one of the most, I'd say, scary teams of the offseason in 2 different ways. Obviously, in terms of their mechanical skill, the power they have on their roster, but also in the fact of, is this going to work out? Is this project actually going to pan out? Are they going to be able to bring it together? We saw in their first series with question marks. It was rough. It wasn't super clean. But last series against OMG, coming into this game one, once BLG, find their foothold, man, do they know how to keep that momentum going. Crisp on this. Thresh was clean. Doggo did exactly what Abel did last game, but he made it work. Like, man, BLG were just firing on all cylinders. WeiWei as well. WeiWei was pulling so many summoners on this Jarvan.
I love that, you know, from the moment we got into that game, we saw great adaptations. We saw things like the Poppy going up against the Jarvan, and the team that BLG went up against, RA, held themselves on a gold lead when they were losing kills through trade-off plays. The early to mid game was so close. It was neck and neck. It came down to one play, Lyric. It came down to, yes, you know, hooks coming through from Chris. Great pick potential using WeiWei as well, who's so proactive, diving iBoy over and over again, even getting a 1v2 kill against him. But the biggest thing for me is that Gale force forward. That's what we've seen out of people like Gala. That's what we've seen out of people like Uzi in the past, right? The ability to go forward. Jackie Love, even though Hung's like the support. You know, Abel as well. Lyric, you know, he could have had that highlight here today. But unfortunately, it didn't go as well. But the momentum and the
22,000.
Big damage. Woo. Exciting, dude. The fact is, you know, Doggo in the first couple of weeks felt like he was really ramping up. And I'm willing to say, after this game, it is a beautiful start to week number 3.
I was gonna say, it's only been a couple of weeks. BLG have only played twice, so haven't had too much time to start with their ramp up. They will continue here today, and RA I think is a great test in terms of again, if you can close out 2 games cleanly like you just did, that's a great sign when RA are a team who, like you said, kept even in gold. We're cross mapping. We're matching you, trading across the rift. Showed moments of, you know, Strive having good moments or things along those lines. But BLG, they were just solid. You know, you kept highlighting the package usage, but BLG just kept opting not to fight, right? BLG just didn't go to the dragon. They're like, oh, okay, you have package now, it's dragon time. We're not going to go. We're going to go into the opposite side of the jungle. We're going to push out waves. We're going to get turrets and do these things. So then when it would come to fights, you know, a package, it's like, okay, BLG made that conscious choice, and it was really good to see out from them. Yeah,
nice smart map play. It's something that I feel like we don't value enough, but here in the LPL, getting a game 1 like that, that's valuable in itself. We get a big dog, we get a big BLG. Confident win to finish it off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a break. When we return, RA vs BLG, I hope it's as good as that for game number 2.